What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 3 of Rate My Portfolio, a new series we're doing here where you guys get to submit your crypto portfolios and I give you a score, a ranking on how good or bad I think this portfolio is. I give some light feedback and where I think the valuation of this portfolio could get to. So today's gonna be number 3. We got Norman coming in, bringing us his portfolio. I cannot wait to get into the details here. But first, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and I've got to roll an intro. Before we get into Norman's portfolio, I want to make sure I remind you guys, this is not a financial recommendation. This is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Even for Norman, he doesn't have to change a single thing about his portfolio. He can leave it exactly as it is. He can disagree with any of my takes, as you guys can as well. But I want to give you my feedback on if this was my portfolio, how I would go about handling it. And to do this and to rate it, if you guys have watched the other 2 episodes, you know we have 5 different scoring methods that we take a look at to rank just how good of a portfolio this is. For the sake of anyone new here, I'm going to make sure to go through those again. But those 5 scoring units are: number 1, coin selection. Would I choose the same coins in this portfolio? Number 2, goals based off of your wealth and what you want to accomplish. Number 3, diversification. You don't want to put all your eggs into one basket. You want to diversify. Number 4, niche. There are 5 different niches I absolutely believe you should be looking to invest in at least a little bit. I'll talk about those 5 niches when we get to that scoring. And number 5, risk to reward ratio. With that said, let's take it one by one, starting off with coin selection. Now, I'm going to go through the coins that Norman has. He has roughly 12 coins. I love it, especially anyone who's newer to investing. I personally recommend trying to get closer, if not under 10 coins. But if you're experienced and you want to own more than that, be my guest. But healthy portfolios, especially for newer investors, let's keep it under 10. 12 for Norman. I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, good number right there. That's going to help your score a little bit. Let's go through what those 12 coins are, though. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Sui, Chainlink, Cardano, ONDO, Render, HBAR, SNEK, and DOG. Now, the first 10, love them. Every single one of those are in my portfolio. If you guys want to see my portfolio, all of our members actually do get to see that, at least our ultimate members. So go check out that membership option, link down below to join the bros group. I like those first 10 coins for sure. When it comes to the last 2, I'm not going to dock you too much for them. These are meme coins, SNEK and DOG. But I will say, even though I don't own them, there are 2 that I would say aren't necessarily terrible. SNEK is the number 1 meme coin on Cardano. I do believe that can still have a successful bull run. And then DOG, of course, a meme coin being built on Bitcoin. How high that one gets, it's very speculative. I don't really know. So I'm not going to necessarily give you bonus points for having these meme coins, but they're not terrible ones to own. Overall, I'm going to give you a score of 8. Not a perfect score. I could have gone like 9 or 10, but I'm going to just ding you a little bit on having those 2 meme coins. You could have gone with maybe something else, maybe like a Pepe. Hey, recent days, maybe Trump coin or something. But I don't want to give you a failing grade. 8's a passing grade for coin selection. Good score to start it off. Let's go to the second criteria, though, the goals of everything here. Now, Norman, when you reached out to me, you told me that your goal was roughly to get a 5 to 6x. I think this is actually a pretty good number. Your current portfolio is sitting at about $145,000, $146,000 in total. We'll get into the details there when we get into diversification. But what you need to know here is you're looking at, if you're getting a 5 to 6x, somewhere between a $700,000 to almost $900,000 area. That's where you want your portfolio to get to. And unfortunately, we're going to get into the details in just a couple of minutes, but I do not believe you're going to end up hitting those goals. I don't think that you're going to get that far with our realistic prediction. Of course, in these videos, I give a disappointing bull market perspective, a what I consider conservative / realistic prediction, and then we'll get to the moon boy situation. If everything clicks and everything goes really high, we could get a lot higher. But for the sake of this video, you're not going to quite get to that 5, 6x, you're going to be hovering somewhere around the 4x position. It's not terrible, but with an $145,000 portfolio, I like 5, 6. I could potentially even stretch it to 7x. You're not going to get there, I believe, with your current portfolio. Well, first of all, I got to give you a score here. Goals, I'm going to give you a 6, not quite a passing grade here, a 6. We need to get some things changed about either your goals or your portfolio itself. Now that takes us into criteria number 3, diversification. Now, first of all, I want to make sure it's clear. You're diversified pretty well when it comes to having 12 coins. You don't only have like 2 or 3 coins. You got 12 different coins. The problem with the diversification and what's going to affect your goals is what happens when I break down what actually goes into this portfolio. So let's go in there and take a look at what's happening here. You have roughly 0.86 Bitcoin. This is going to be the majority of your portfolio. 0.86 Bitcoin that is currently valued just under $90,000. So 50% of your portfolio right now is sitting in Bitcoin, which if you wanted to tell me a 2x, 3x from here, that's all your goal is, maybe a 4x, I'd be completely fine with this. But this is going to be the biggest drawback of you actually accomplishing and getting what you want to have. It's going to stop you from getting that 5, 6x. So that's going to be a big problem right there. Then you move into some other coins. You have about $4,000 worth of Ethereum or 1.26 Ethereum. You have 1,600 XRP worth just under 5,000. You have 11.5 Solana worth just under 3,000. Sui, you have 2,122 worth almost $9,000. Chainlink, you have 170 worth roughly 4,200. Cardano, here's your other big one, and I love Cardano, but Cardano, you have 26,300 Cardano worth roughly $25,500. I love Cardano, but now all of a sudden we're talking about 75% of this entire portfolio is locked up in only 2 coins. That's not the diversification that we really want to see here, especially when we want to see that 5 to 6x. Now, it's not that I have a problem with Cardano sitting there because I think Cardano is going to easily get you some 5, 6x. But at the same time, I don't want to see 75% of my portfolio wrapped up in only 2 coins. So that's really going to ding us. To finish out your portfolio, though, ONDO, you have 1,500 ONDO worth just under $2,000. Render, 273 worth just under $2,000. HBAR, you have just under 3,000. You have 2,960 worth $939. You have, what is that? 111,400 SNEK worth $700. And then, of course, with your dog, you have 68,300, which is worth roughly 287. Okay, so I like how your meme coins, not a lot of money there. That's why I'm kind of okay with those. When it comes to everything else, though, I want to see maybe a little bit more split. There was a time to hold heavy Bitcoin, maybe even as high as 50%. But it's time, if you want to get serious about your goals, if you want to be serious about diversifying, you got to get split up. Let's get some of this Bitcoin and Cardano spread out into these other great projects. Highly recommend going a little more into maybe the Suis and the Ondos and the Chainlinks, even HBAR. Really think HBAR can have a special bull market. Think you're a little light in those. That's how I would move that around. So I'm going to give you a diversification score. Once again, it's not terrible, but it's not a passing grade. It's a 6. I want to see you split up and get more. I don't want to see 75% in just 2 coins. That's me personally. You do you, Norman, but I'm going to give you a 6 on this one. So now let's move into criteria number 4, and that would be niche. Now, I told you in the beginning, I'm going to explain what the niches are. There's 5 different niches of crypto that I think everyone should have at least one coin in, and that's going to be layer ones, real world assets, AI, ISO 222, and DPIN. I'm kind of dabbling between an 8 and a 9. I think I'm going to give you a 9 here. I'm going to give you a 9 because you technically are covered here. L1s, you got a plethora. Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano. We'll keep going on. You got a lot of layer ones. On real world assets, you got Chainlink and Ondo. I absolutely love that. AI, you have Render. My favorite AI token of them all. That's the one that I own in the AI space. That's a great call. ISO 222. You got Cardano. But then when it comes to DPIN, technically Render is a DPIN coin. So you could kind of say, hey, you're covered on the DPIN, but now all of a sudden your AI and your DPIN are the exact same. I'd like to see either a second AI token in here or maybe a different DPIN. Something like Jasmine is one that I hold. But either way, this is still a pretty good split here. I'm going to give you a 9. The only reason you're not getting a 10 is because I'd like to see not just render classify as two different categories, but good score right there. That's a 9. Let's move into the last criteria, that is risk to reward. And here is where you get your lowest score. It's going to be a 5. And it's the reason why I've talked through everything else. I mean, ultimately, you only have $145,000. Now, I say only, that's not a terrible portfolio. That's actually a really good portfolio, but you're not risking enough to get the reward you actually want. I genuinely love your goal of 5 to 6x. Again, I think you could even potentially say with a couple moves here in this portfolio, you could get to a 7 or 8x. That's where your goals really kind of should be in that area, but you're not risking enough to actually get there. I'm going to go through and tell you here with my price predictions why I think you're not going to get there, what I think you actually can get to, but I'm going to give you a 5 here. And I want to see some changes here if we're going to get a passing grade. This is going to bring us just short of a passing grade. You want to average a 7 here. And when you add the scores up, you have an 8, a 6, a 6, a 9, and a 5. We get 34, and you'd want to have a 35 out of 50. So just below what I would consider a passing grade for a portfolio. But if you made some very minor fixes, it's not going to take a whole lot, just some minor fixes, it would be well above that 35, probably pushing towards 40. With that said, though, that's my score for this portfolio. Let's move into what I actually believe these coins can do. Now, as I said, we have a lot of tokens coming in here: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Sui, Chainlink, Cardano, ONDO, Render, HBAR, SNEK, and DOG. Let's give some price predictions for these. Let's start off in a disappointing or very low bull market where we do not have a lot of money flow in. I believe Bitcoin can get to about $150,000. I believe Ethereum could still, despite some frustrations with Ethereum, I still think Ethereum could get over $7,000 in a disappointing bull market. I think that XRP could make its way to $6, Solana to $700, Sui to $20, Chainlink to $100, Cardano to $4, ONDO to $6, Render to $50, HBAR to $1.28 or $1.30 roughly, SNEK to 0.031, so 3.1 cents, and then DOG somewhere in the world of 2.1 cents, right? Don't worry too much about SNEK or DOG because they're not going to affect this portfolio too much. But in this disappointing price prediction market, if we don't get high numbers and these are the right prices, this would bring your portfolio roughly up to about $353,000, more than a 2x. But that's about it, right? Just over a 2x. Not going to necessarily be what you're looking for here. But again, that's a disappointing bull market. We don't plan and invest with that being the anticipation. Let's move into what I call the conservative or realistic expectation for where I think these coins are going to be sitting. Not all these are my perfect price predictions. Again, they're a little bit conservative, but I think very attainable. Bitcoin, $200,000. Ethereum to $15,000. Now, that one might be a little high based off some things that happened recently, but I'm going to stick with it for now. I still believe that Ethereum could be pushing close to $15,000. XRP to $12, Solana to $1,300, Sui to $50, Chainlink to $300, Cardano to $7, ONDO to $14, Render to $100, HBAR to roughly $2.50, SNEK to 6.3 cents, and DOG to 4.2 cents. This is the realistic scenario. This is why you're going to get lower scores than some of your others, because remember, you want to be getting $750,000, $900,000 area. You're only going to get to about $635,000. It's not necessarily crazy far off, but once again, we're talking about roughly a 4x when we really want to push that 6, almost 7x for your portfolio. So that is what I'm looking at this portfolio saying reasonably I'm expecting it to get to by the end of the bull market. But let's just, for kicks and giggles, talk about a moon situation where crypto goes absolutely berserk, goes a lot higher than some people are thinking. Let's get to those price predictions. Bitcoin, $350,000. Ethereum, $30,000. Now, I'll pause here because the rest of them, you're going to hear these numbers and say, Tim, you're absolutely ludicrous here. These prices aren't happening. I kind of agree. I don't think that they're going to happen, but if things get more bullish than we maybe are thinking, these are those crazy potentials. So all these prices, keep in mind, they're crazy high for a reason. $30,000 for Ethereum, $20 for XRP, $2,000 for Solana, $80 for Sui, $600 for Chainlink, $10 for Cardano, $25 for ONDO, $200 for Render, $5 for HBAR, 12.7 cents for SNEK, and 8.4 cents for DOG. If this were to happen, your portfolio would get over your goal. It would be over $1 million, $1,060,000 to be exact here. But again, I want to make sure it's clear. This isn't the expectation. We're not necessarily holding and waiting for this price to happen, but that's where I see your portfolio getting to, probably somewhere between the conservative to moon. So somewhere between 600,000 to 1 million. Maybe it does get into that 700,000. Maybe it's a little closer to goal, but that's not necessarily what we can anticipate at this time. That's going to wrap up my rating of Norman's portfolio. Norman, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and the rest of you do the exact same. If you want to get your portfolio reviewed, make sure to go join our free Discord right now, where you can create a ticket and submit your portfolio just like Norman did. And hey, maybe I select yours. We have gotten a lot of submissions in the last 2 weeks, but you never know. However, if you want to have a more intimate approach, maybe you want to have this meeting with a lot of conversation and feedback, make sure to check out our ultimate level membership, where you get a free one-on-one as well as one of these Investing Bros hats simply for being one of our Ultimates members. Check it out right now. Links down below. Smash the like on your way out. Hit subscribe. I'll see you next time. Adios. Well, looky there. You made it to the end of the video. That means you either really liked it or really hated it. And either way, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments down below, because it really does help us create better content for you, the viewers. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to check out our channel, because we have a lot of content just like this as we seek to help educate every single person on how to actually create financial freedom for themselves and their families. But to make sure that you see those videos, hit that subscribe button and like all of our content, as it really does help us out. If you want to go a step further and connect with the bros even more, make sure to check out our free Discord down below, where the chat never stops, and you'll be surrounded by a community of people just like you who want to better themselves. Go ahead and click on it. We'll see you in the next one.